Okay. Okay, I'm back. Hello. Welcome to Friday Night Live. Hey, Yuko, if you're still there, could you let me know if this is any better? I just stopped what I was doing before and started up again because apparently my audio wasn't in sync. So hopefully that works out. And if not, then I'm sorry, it's just going to be a little bit annoying. You might just choose to move your eyes away for a little bit and then you could listen in instead. So anyway, I was just learning curves and how that's, I think, is a great way to look at our process of living as opposed to using the term failure, because it feels so bad to think that you failed at something when really you tried something and it had a different outcome than you were hoping, and so you can just move forward. And I figure that this can be applied, sorry for my thumb there, I forgot to turn this on airplane mode, so okay. So in any case, I was thinking about, what about being a student also? You know, if you're thinking about college students and it's your first time away from home, probably, you know, if you're like most newcomers to college, it's probably your first time away from home. And you're just trying to figure how to live life, right? In a new environment with new people all around you. There's a new structure. There's a new there's a new protocol to life, basically, that you have to basically take a crash course at living, right? And getting right into it. And so it might feel like you're not doing everything just right. And maybe you were a genius in high school, and then there you are at college, and then you're among everyone else who was a genius, right? And so suddenly things are different, and now you're getting more used to bell curves, right, with grading. So as far as learning curves go, it's just you gotta get a little bit more experience under your belt and get used to the new way that things are done in that new environment, and then you'll be able to soar, you know, once you just give yourself a little bit of leeway and a little bit of room for maneuvering to figure through. And I think that's the same thing that is, you know, our country is experiencing now. Something very, very different is going on than what we've experienced in the past. And by our country, I'm talking about the United States. I know that a lot of you are international, and yet the whole world, I think, gets affected by what happens. It's that ripple effect that I've talked about before. So in the same way that what one person does can make an impact and touch someone else's life, the same thing about a community, you know, affects other communities, or an entire nation can, you know, the ripple effect goes outward, you know, other nations are affected as well. And so we're going to be going through this learning curve ourselves. Each person individually, each local government, and then the government as a whole. And I think that's just going to take a willingness and some patience on everyone's part to learn how to do things a bit differently. We're about to need to learn how to live a little bit differently, probably. And that can be a little bit scary or unsettling. And at the same time, you know, it's just one more day in our amazing lives, you know, that today is the only day that counts. This moment is the only moment that matters. And we can make of this moment what we want out of it. And right now, I get to be reminded of what it's like to be this close to one of my paintings that I really don't pay much attention to. It's sitting in my office reception room, you know, and it's kind of nice to take this slightly different perspective, you know, and to just remind myself that this is the most important moment that counts, and so is the next moment. And I've just spoken a few words, and now this exact moment is the most important time. And so what's the significance of that? Why do I keep mentioning that? Because even though things that are unfamiliar are happening all around me in the big external world, this is also my familiarity right here, and the people that I interact with and that I speak with and that I see joining me here on this live cast, or that I know will be commenting later. Oh, Yuko, I love hearing your voice, she says. Thank you. I miss you. It was so fun. We got to hang out. Yuko is one of my dearest friends from 2nd grade. Yes, we were very little. We've kept in touch, so I'm so happy to see you here too. I'm not going to talk about all the trouble that you got me into, girl. Can you imagine someone like me, like I'm a good girl, right? To have this little rascal as a lovely friend, that made life very exciting in second grade, and after that as well. But in any case, it's good to be in touch with people that you love, people that you care about, because that's what carries you through, you know. And I would like for us all to remember that I was not a delinquent. You were the delinquent. You can't picture me as, no, that wasn't me. That was you. So, so you're distracting me. What a distraction. And what happens when there's distraction? You just have to refocus. Either you roll with it and you engage and you have fun with it, which is what we're doing. And it's great to bring that levity, I think. This is a fun Friday to me. I've been looking forward to doing this video. I did not. She's trying to pin it on me. I did not throw the berries. I swear I didn't throw the berries. You threw the berries. And yes, we had to spend our recess sweeping up the courtyard because this little one and some other little rascals decided that it'd be fun to throw red berries across the courtyard at each other. Yes. So I shaped up. I learned my lesson because I decided I wanted to go to recess after all and not sit around throwing berries at one another. So back to the point. See, I was talking about learning curves instead of failure. Like even that wasn't a failure that I got my name written on the board. Oh my God, what a trauma. My name was written on the board, right? I wasn't going to be able to go to recess because I had to pick up a broom and sweep. But I learned from it. I decided no more berry throwing. I didn't want to live a life of delinquency. So you just learn from it. You had a good time doing what you did, or you didn't. And you found that there's a consequence to your action or someone else's, and then you roll with it. And a lot of times, you know, things don't have as huge of an impact as we fear that they do. That might be a conversation that you have with somebody. Could be something that you feel bad about. Maybe you said something you didn't mean to. For your own peace of mind, you know, it would probably feel great to acknowledge that to whomever you were speaking with and offer an apology. And you know what? They might not even know exactly what you're talking about because it was your personal experience that went on and it was your perception of the reality that affected how you were feeling, and they had their own perception of their own reality and moved on. You know what I mean? So if for nothing else than to make yourself feel better, that's when you can strike up a conversation with someone that you feel like, hey, I didn't quite feel great about the way that I spoke to you or my tone of voice or whatever. I'm really sorry. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings or something like that. That's just one example, you know, because the point is that you are the most important person in the universe. And that's just it, is that our universe is made of all sorts of zillions of individuals. And each one of us individuals is the most important person, just like this moment is the most important moment. And it's how our different worlds collide and interact with each other that's kind of magical. And so we do have control over how our world is. We can be reactionary, and we can also be progressive. We can be deliberate in our actions and in our conversations, as opposed to being at the effect of. So we can steer the way of how our day goes. We can steer the way of how we feel. One way of doing that is by meditating in the morning, you know, and that can really only take a few minutes of your time. It doesn't mean that you have to sit down and take a full-on 30 minutes or an hour in order to have a personal meditation that is effective for you. Now, it's great if you can do that, and many people do, but I just bring that up because I think that there are those out there who think, I don't have time to do that. And their perception is that they need to carve out a huge chunk of their day in order to do something differently. So that's one example of how you can choose to create your own reality, is you can make yourself grounded, you know, do those deliberate deep breaths that I've talked about in the past, because that brings you more present. When you focus on your breathing, you know, and just pay attention to that, suddenly your breathing is the only thing that matters. That's your life breath. that's bringing circulation into your body, that's bringing oxygen to your brain, that's bringing a flow to your system. And that allows you to simmer down a little bit, whatever it is that's stressing you out. You know, it's just a bunch of activity that's happening. And it's someone else, perhaps it's someone else's agenda that's maybe trying to be imposed on you. And maybe all it takes is just taking a few steps back and realizing that it's all about you. And maybe your kitty or your puppy dog or whoever it is that's around that helps make you happy, you know. So those things that make you feel warm and fuzzy and cozy, super important to acknowledge and be with those things or people or furry animals, whatever it is, because that helps uplift you and it helps you bring more light to the world. And that's super duper important. And it's something that's palpable. It's something where, you know, people can feel that. And when you can do that and they feel it and you feel that they feel it, that makes a big difference. Then suddenly there's just like this circular effect of good frequency that's happening. And you never know what might have been happening in that other person's life, you know. They might have gotten accosted on the street, or they might have felt threatened in one way or another, or they might have felt super worried about something. And then they got to sit or stand in your presence and recognize that's all in the past. This is what counts right now, and I feel really good with this person. Imagine how many lives you can brighten by doing that, you know. Just think a little bit about your role in your own environment, in your own community. Maybe it's in your dorm room. Maybe it's in your classroom. Maybe it's in a group of people, and some of them you like and some of them you don't, but you're thrown in with each other because you have an assignment that you need to accomplish. You know, you can bring a lot of light to any situation, and just let yourself do it and see what happens. So, did I stray away? I know I started talking about learning curves. I think I am going to post that other video too. So this is Friday Night Live Part B. So Part A was the one where it seemed that my voice wasn't in sync. By the way, Yuko, did it? Can you tell me, did it change anything? The fact that I started a new video, if you're still there, or whoever is there with me, if you don't mind just writing a quick comment and letting me know if the audio is working okay. That would be great to know. So in any case, just kind of putting out a perspective there that when things don't feel like they're in your control and it feels like, cool, thanks, and you know, it feels like there are mistakes all over the place and failures that are happening all over the place, you know, if you can just try a different perspective that maybe everyone else is just trying to learn how to live life too, and everyone else is on their own learning curve the same way that you are yours. You know, you have a little bit more compassion, I think, for what another person is going through, whether you know them or not, whether they're in your direct, immediate life or whether they're on a national grand stage. You know, if we can have some understanding that everyone is learning to live their life as well as they can, just the same way that we are, wow, that can make such a big difference and help our lives just, you know, go so much more smoothly and joyfully. And that's what I'm after. I like finding things that I'm interested in, finding people I'm interested in, and challenging myself wherever I can. And I feel like I've been doing that a lot. And it's been fun just looking at how it is that I can step up and show myself that I can do it. I can still do it. I can try something new and I can do that too. And that's what makes life interesting. So I wish that for you too, that you find many more interesting things to just feel joyful about. And if you feel perplexed, then let yourself feel perplexed and ask yourself, how can you shed some light on this situation and help someone else feel good about the day that they're leading, which in turn will help you feel good about your day too. Because I really believe that that's what counts most. When we can feel good, just let ourselves feel good. Wow, life is so much more fun. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'd love to hear what you think about that, and leave me some comments or ask questions, and let's see some engagement here of some more positivity, because I think that that's so helpful. It's a nice distraction, and if we pay too much attention to the media, we can fall down a little bit into some negative thinking, and that doesn't feel good at all. So thanks for joining me here, for taking a break from whatever mayhem is going on out there. And I'm so happy that you joined me. I'd love it if you'd like my page, Darya G. Ghafourpour DDS on Facebook, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. That one's under Dr. Darya Ghafourpour. I think it says The Gentle Dentist. And share the links, and let's spread some joy, spread the love. Share this video to anyone that you think would really enjoy that, and ask them to be a subscriber or to like my page as well. And make sure to check on your notifications up on the I think it's like on the top right corner of the settings there on Facebook, so that you can choose to receive live notifications, and that way you'll know when I'm here and you'll get to join me if you can. Much love to you all. Take care and have an awesome weekend. Bye.